Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to the Fighters Rep. And I'm not going to call it the podcast, Gary, because this isn't an official episode of the Fighters Rep podcast that happens on Mondays. But there's some big developments in boxing, and I told you guys we were going to do this once in a while, and here it is. Ryan Garcia's B sample, Gary. It has been returned, Gary, and it has confirmed that he has failed the test for Ostarine. Now, just to give everybody a little bit of background information, Gary, because I'm going to give them my reasoning as to what happened, and then we're going to hear your reasoning. And, of course, we're going to yell and scream at each other for a little bit. But, Ostarine is basically a performance-enhancing drug. A lot of people refer to it as a steroid. And from reading it, a quick Google search has demonstrated to me, Gary, and you tell me if this sounds about right, that it allows you to cut weight. Among other things, it allows you to cut weight while also gaining muscle and maintaining muscle and strength. So it sounds like a good thing to take if you're cutting weight, right?
Yeah.
And so, the test, it looks like he was tested on the 19th and on the 20th. So the day before the event, the day of the event, the original sample came back that he failed. And now this B sample, it's basically the same sample. They just I guess they put it somewhere else to make sure the original sample wasn't contaminated. Now this is showing that he's positive too. So that's where we're at right now, Gary. People are still, and then he put out this whole tweet about, or an Instagram post or whatever about a hair test. And how he sent out a hair test, if you want to believe him. He sent out a hair test and it came back negative, and hair is, a lot of people think the hair is more accurate than the blood or whatever. I don't know. Tell me what you think about what's going on. And what do you think happened here, Gary?
Let's cut the bullshit real quick. It's no surprise that the B sample, I don't even know why everybody was waiting around for the B sample, hoping, what do you think it's going to be something different when the motherfucker Ryan Garcia, when the dude Ryan Garcia, he came out before earlier and pretty much already was like, the B sample's probably going to say the same, but the A sample said it. The B sample probably going to say the same thing. Yeah. So he's already, before the test came out, already told you the B was going to be the same as the A. And it's rare that the B is ever different from the A. You know what I mean? It's majority of the time when they do these things, the B say the same thing the A do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because if the B is different, then that means the A was contaminated.
Yeah.
And the chances of that are, it's what, some Ostarine just magically fell out of the lab into your urine or into your penis and you peed it out. I don't know what the hell,
So
crazy.
Here's the thing here's the thing with Ryan Garcia. He's a con artist. He's not dumb. He's smart. And he has his whole fan base believing that this is some agenda.
You believe he's a con artist. He's a con artist.
Yeah, I believe. Okay. I believe he's a con artist a little bit. Now, I'm gonna be real. It could be a mistake. It could be, it could go ahead and be
that all 4 tests were contaminated.
I'm saying that
maybe he was taking a supplement. Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with it. They a lot of times say, "Oh, I took this supplement," and maybe this supplement was contaminated. Right now, he has them going through all of his supplements to see if one of the supplements had it in it or whatever. That could be possible. Now, me looking at Ryan Garcia and who Ryan Garcia is and who he's shown me to be. He's a clever motherfucker, okay? He prepared for all of this. He has the fans on his side. His I don't know what you got Taylor Swift, the Swifties. You got Beyonce, the Beehive. I forgot what Rihanna's people are. I don't know what you want to call Ryan Garcia's little
I got a name for it. When I start drinking, things just pop in. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Ostarines.
A little corny, but it's still a little funny. Ostarine. It's a good like Will Ferrell comedy. I like Will Ferrell, by the way. Big fan. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? They just believe whatever he says. They're in like a little cult. And he tells them first he comes out, and I don't even get the people who follow him. And I know I'm going long on this real quick, but I just thoughts come in my head. I don't get the people that follow him that just want to believe him blindly. That all of a sudden everybody just wants to attack Ryan Garcia. Now, there's been bigger stars in this game. It's been other Mexicans, and there's been other people in this game. But somehow he's Jesus Christ on the cross right now for his followers. And it's like, dude, he has Ostarine in his system. That just don't pop up in your system. You're not supposed to have it in your system at all. They done checked all the tests. He keeps popping up. And then, like you said, he gets the hair follicle trying to say, like, hey, I sent it off. It came back negative. That means there's no long-term usage, which to me is like, from what I understand, is like it can still be microdosing. It can still be like, some left in your system from before. Like that's why the levels are what they say is low. You know what I mean? Even though it's not supposed to be in your body at all. And so they're trying to say that's a perfect example of cross-contamination. I know because I was reading, like Canelo when he tested positive. That's how he got his suspension reduced from a year to 6 months because he did a hair thing and showed that it was no long-term use of it. That it could be contamination from the meat or whatever and stuff like that. So that's how he got to reduce from a year to 6 months. So I think that's the angle he's going for.
Well, I think that would, the angle he would have to go for, I think, is obviously it would have to be a supplement, right? That's what he's going to go for. Because I think Canelo's, which was, I believe, clenbuterol or something. I mean, that's something that I think that can actually occur naturally in the meat or something like that. But
in Mexico, they were saying in Mexico they have that. They were saying in Mexico they have that in the meat, but you never know. Yeah. I mean, people find all types of excuses.
Yeah. But I think his situation is a little bit different. I mean, he's going to have to blame the supplements because that's not something that you're going to find in meat here in the United States. Although,
no.
Although who knows with the shit that they've been putting in our meat, bro? Who knows? But my understanding is that's not something you'd find in the meat. And I'm on board with you, man. And I think I've been on board with this a while. I think I'm going to say some controversial things, man, in this conversation. Things that I don't like to say. I'm going to segue into that in a bit, but I'm on your side 100% with this one. I think, just as I guess being a lawyer has helped, especially in the criminal field in the past, and studying criminal justice and everything else, and just being analytical and looking at evidence and stuff like that has helped. I mean, you're talking about a guy, right, who said, I think post-fight, and we talked about this, me and you, that he couldn't make below 143 pounds. He said, I knew I couldn't make below 143 pounds. So when you think about that, the mentality of somebody who's telling you that, what's the ideal PED or steroid or whatever it is to take in a situation, right, where you might have a gap in testing and it's a PED that can get you results within a week, my understanding, within the first week of taking it. And so if there's a gap in testing, which I believe there was here from like the beginning, closer to the beginning of April until when he was tested before fight night, you could reap some benefits from this thing. And it's the ideal PED, Gary, if you're trying to cut weight and maintain strength or actually gain strength. My understanding from my reading online is it actually allows you to gain strength while losing weight.
Losing weight, yeah.
Kind of crazy. And they even, when you
it cuts your fat, but not your muscle. It cuts your fat, not your muscle, allows you to stay strong. So if you want to, from what I read, if you want to cut weight, but stay, because normally when you cut weight, you can't tell your body just take from the fat, not the muscle. It's taken from both. You know what I mean? So, you're cutting, especially if it's not, you don't have that much fat on your body. You're dropping muscle, you're losing muscle to cutting like that.
Yeah.
So that's how they say they feel weak, because you're cutting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, apparently, here's so I found an article. I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna paste it in the in the subject after this. But just in case I forget, it's on connect.acp.org, and it talks about Ostarine Gary. And it says that it's the, let me see here. It says both the points mentioned above, it talks about the drug a little bit, and then it says make this drug the perfect product for body enhancement cycles where you're aiming to build muscle mass while cutting down on excess fat, right? So
Mhm.
it allows you to do both, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's an ideal, I think that's an ideal situation for not only bodybuilders who take this stuff, but a guy who's cutting weight. And it says, can be used during a cutting phase. During cutting phase, people often have to abide by hard diets, mainly missing out on conventional calorie intakes. Ostarine comes in handy in a situation like that, has the capability of maintaining both muscle strength and mass during caloric deficits. Many users have also witnessed a nutrient partitioning effect, which explains the enhanced fat reduction while on the cycle. So, and I read somewhere else on Google, I mean, maybe I'll look for it as well, that you can actually, again, get the benefit right away. So, Gary, if he knew, there was going to be a small gap between when he was tested on fight night and maybe the couple 2-3 weeks before that, this is the ideal. It's the ideal steroid or PED, Gary, to take in this situation for a guy who knows, he already knows from the Tank Davis fight he can't make this weight. So I don't know. For me, it's like, it's so obvious, right? It's so obvious. And what's crazy to me is, and this is the controversial thing I'm going to say, right? And I don't like to do this. I don't like to do this. I'm not this guy, right? But,
I don't know that. Go ahead.
Boxing, and I don't like to bring this up much. Boxing is very racial, bro. Boxing is very racial.
Combat sports, period. Sports, period.
Very racial. Not something I'm into. I just kind of want what's right to come out and what's wrong to come out as well, right?
Yeah.
Right and wrong is wrong. Now, Devin Haney has made himself a person, I think, on a lot of occasions, he's made himself unlikable to the public, right? Like he kind of tries to be a bit of a Mayweather, like a bad guy sometimes, but he's also a dedicated, clean, devout kid as well, right? He's not as abrasive or obnoxious as a Mayweather, and certainly not as abrasive or obnoxious as a Ryan Garcia. I just think, though, what we're seeing, I mean, every time, Gary, and I've told you this, every time I look on social media and I read about anything to do with this situation, it's a lot of people shitting on Devin Haney. And I don't understand it, other than these people are either crazy, like caught up Ostarines who are falling, taking it bait, hook, and sinker, this bullshit he's peddling to them.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, screw the black kid. I'm going with the Hispanic kid. I mean, maybe it's a mix of the two. Maybe it's maybe it's a mix of the two. People they ride for their countrymen or they ride for their ethnicity or whatever it is in sports a lot of the time, especially in boxing. That's how it is. But me personally, I think this is so horrible. I think it's such a bad look. At some point, bro, I just feel like people just need to drop all that extra shit and call a spade a spade. Bro, this guy has now failed. If you think about it, sample A is 2 tests, right? It's the day before and the day of. Sample B is 2 separate tests. It's the day before and the day of. That's 4 tests, Gary.
Yeah.
This dude went into the ring, whether he knew it or not, whatever excuses he comes up with or not. This dude went into the ring with whatever this substance is, likely in his system.
Well, let me give my take on it.
What my question to you is why aren't people holding him accountable? Why is our society not holding this person accountable? This person should be held accountable for what he did.
Well, see,
am I old? Am I an old person?
Well, see, this is my take on it, George. You have too much faith.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You have too much faith in people. It's a lot of idiots in this world.
It's a lot of idiots. You're right.
People get mad at me. I'm not calling everybody idiots. Yeah. I'm just saying it's a lot of idiots in this world. Social media, the internet has let us know it's a lot of gullible motherfuckers, a lot of idiots, and especially if you're talking about the casual boxing fan, right? You're talking about the casual boxing fan that really doesn't know all the things, and because I see boxing clips online, and I see people in the comments commenting about certain things, and I'm like, well, that's against the rules, but they can't do that. You know, you just look and you're like, they don't know what the hell they're talking about when they're talking about this. And I'm not saying like I'm just some boxing genius, but I watch boxing, I follow it, I try to train in a little bit, everything. You know, I understand it a little bit more than just, hey, it's two guys in the ring just hitting each other in the head. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand it, and I understand what goes into it, talking to fighters and different things and all that. So my thing is that this is why I say Ryan's smart. He's a con artist. He's a smart dude. This is the new age, social media. He made this play on social media a while ago. He has 8 million followers on social media. This is why I compared him to Taylor Swift, to Beyonce, because there's nothing that Beyonce can do to her beehive that makes them question her. She can do no wrong. Yeah. There's nothing that Taylor Swift can do to the Swifties. They will jump you. They will do anything if you criticize them. And that's what Ryan Garcia has galvanized the internet. Yeah. And this is the new age. He figured it out. I can build my audience even before he even became anything. He built his audience on social media, got a backing, got a fan base. And even when he hadn't even done anything, Ryan is this popular. He has not even won a belt. Yeah. He's popular. He's more popular than dudes better than him. He's more, I mean, I would probably say he's more popular than Bud Crawford was.
It's fascinating.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a genius at marketing himself on social media. He's one of these young kids that know how to use social media, kind of like Jake Paul. When you wonder why people watch Jake Paul and follow him, why he can sell this much doing this, because they're one and the same. One just a better boxer and been doing it a long time. And then it's like, he goes and you have these conspiracy theory people. I have people in my family that conspiracy theory. Yeah. They love conspiracy theories. Hey, everybody's against Ryan Garcia. They're trying to take me down because guess what? What he did? He says, oh, it's sex trafficking. I seen it. They held me down. He said all this crazy stuff. And you know what I see in the comments? Oh, they're trying to get Ryan because he's exposing the elite. And I'm like, well, who did he really expose? He never said any names. Did he say a name? He just made some crazy claim that he got held down and had to watch kids get raped. But he made, if this was him really trying to take down elite, he would have made a name. He would have did something. He did nothing. Oh, he went to the crazy part. Oh, they froze my accounts because I'm saying this. Oh, they did this. And if you have any fucking brain, you know that's bullshit. Because how all of a sudden you get it back control of your accounts. You get back control of your money. You bet on yourself. You did all of this. And everybody's now saying, oh, he wasn't crazy this whole time. No, he was being strategic. He was being smart. He knew what he was doing. His fan base is on his side. And then he starts talking about God. But then one moment he's talking about God. Next minute he's talking about weed, drinking, bitches, everything else. Yeah. So it's just like, do you really believe in this dude? And then to top it off, after he says they're after me, he shows you pictures of Victor Conte with Devin, and he makes you think this is a whole elaborate scheme. This is what people do when they make conspiracy theories. Yeah. Whole elaborate scheme. And he doesn't really have to bring you a whole lot of proof, just bring you some coincidental things that match together, and these people will believe it. And then when that doesn't work, he goes to, oh, my pills must be contaminated. I have no idea what this is. Now, could that be possible? Yes. But guess what they can do? They can check the pills you have. They can check that whole batch of set of pills that went out with the set that you have. They have a way of tracking it to see if it's contaminated. And that's how they do recalls and all this stuff. So he's going to run into that problem. Then he'll make another excuse. And then you even got people who are fans of him saying, well, it doesn't matter if he took something because he still couldn't block the left. And like, it didn't matter. So right now you're just fighting. He tried to make it a political thing saying, oh, because I backed Trump, they want to take me down. Well, guess what? Kobe Covington backed Trump. He's probably one of the most annoying of more people doing this. And he never tests positive. I don't know why they didn't get Kobe. He's
right.
very outspoken.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You're
so,
right.
But he just
Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah, or Masvidal.
Bunch of guys. Got a
bunch of guys that like Trump. They didn't go spike their drinks or spike whatever they got. I mean, come on. You think you're the only person that likes Trump that boxes or fights or does sports? Nobody's going after him. And it's just like he creates all these narratives because he gets people. He knows what he's doing. And let me also tell you something. He doesn't care if he gets suspended. He still got paid a bunch of money. He bet on himself because he knew he was cheating. I bet on myself.
And listen, the more you say, the more it makes sense, bro.
I bet on myself, made $12 million off of betting on myself. I gave you 1.5 because I didn't care. I didn't care about that. I'm gonna make 12 million off of betting on myself, plus whatever I make off of this fight, plus everything. And nobody's ever gonna forget that I whooped your ass. I don't care if they say steroids, whatever. People gonna forever put clips on me knocking your ass down. I can forever make fun that I beat your ass. This, that. If I gotta do 6 months to a year, I can go back and make some more money. He's a bigger star because of this,
bro. We don't even hold cheaters or potential cheaters accountable anymore, bro. It's wild. Alex E says, "Salud, fellas. Ryan is a clown, and so is his kitty bopper fan base. He's a damn fake soap opera. It's annoying. It's a shame what boxing has become. Not what I grew up on in the 80s, 90s, and mid-2000s." He says, "Boxing is no longer about who is the best, who is that dog. Now it's about social media, likes, and subscribers. How did it come to this?" And Alex then he says, "The Mexican congregation and myself does not recognize Ryan Garcia as one of our own. We don't like clowns and idiots. Ryan ain't popular with real men, with real life experiences. We can see right through him." You know,
he went at him.
Yeah,
Alex went at him.
Man, he's got some potent social media potion out there, man. That's got these people intoxicated, Gary, and believing every word he said. And listen, you know, one guy I really like watching once in a while is Showbiz. Showbiz, the entertainer, the boxing guy, and he believes that the hair sample coming back negative means that this guy is, you know, probably off the hook, or probably it was a contamination. I mean, it sounds like he's batting for Ryan Garcia, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard it.
Yeah, so I don't know much about hair follicle tests and stuff like that. So I did a little bit of research just, you know, on the fly. And what I found was this, Gary. I kind of want to read it to you, right? It says, "A hair test is the most effective way to evaluate long-term patterns of use.
Yeah.
Making it an excellent option for pre-employment and random testing programs. Because hair testing detects a pattern of repetitive drug use over a long period, usually up to 90 days, it's not an appropriate method for post-accident or reasonable suspicion testing. In both situations, the drug testing procedure should detect the drug as close as possible to the time of the incident, making urine or oral fluid testing a better choice." And this is from Quest Diagnostics. You know, it's a major laboratory company that takes people's tests, you know, before you go get a job at, you know, wherever the hell you go get it, you go to Quest. And it's interesting.
I knew about that. I knew about that. I know a couple people who dibble and dab, and they had to know the rules of saliva versus and other things.
A couple of Ostarines down there in Miami. But yeah, I mean, it looks to me like the hair thing, because I would imagine, I read somewhere else, like, you know, the hair, it takes time for the hair to grow and for you to, you know, and if he's already, you know, I don't know, maybe if he's already tapered off, You know, and then maybe
Well, I heard that it
who
could.
knows when who knows when he plucked that hair out? Who knows? You know
I was
who he
listening.
sent it to?
I was listening to something, and they were saying like basically, I don't think that the everything shows up in the hair. Like certain things don't. I guess what he took certain it doesn't show up in the hair anyway. But also it could also be such low dosage because of microdosing, and it doesn't show up as long term abuse because you microdose. You take so little of it at a time. Like I don't know. I never took steroids and nothing like that. But I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's just listening to people who know about it. And it's possible that it doesn't show up in your hair because you didn't take it long enough. But even let's say he didn't take it long term, like you say, it the best results are immediate. What if
yeah,
he just took it before the fight, or he took it a week before the fight? What if
yeah.
he just took it to cut because he was having trouble cutting weight, and he said a week before the fight, "Hey, I'm going to take this stuff to cut
Mhm,
the weight." Somebody
mhm.
gives it to him a week before the fight, then it
Yeah,
wouldn't show up in your hair. That doesn't mean
right,
you didn't take it. That doesn't mean
right,
you didn't
right.
take it. It doesn't mean you didn't take it long term.
And
So
then
I'm
let me read to you the statement, right? This is the statement. Uh Garcia's lawyers released a statement of Fox News Digital after his posts to social media disappeared. The lawyers say Garcia submitted hair to be tested and it showed he never ingested Ostarine over a period of time. Listen to this like language, right? So this is the statement. Here it is. Ryan Garcia is committed to clean and fair competition and has never intentionally used any banned substance. Soon after being notified of his positive test, Ryan voluntarily had his hair collected and shipped to Dr. Pascal Kintz, the foremost expert in toxicology and hair sample analysis. The results of the hair sample came back negative. And then they're saying this is consistent with contamination and demonstrably proves that Ryan had not ingested Ostarine over a period of time. The only way he would have had any advantage whatsoever in the ring. Ryan has voluntarily submitted to test throughout his career, whatever. So, again, they're trying to say that. I mean, again, and this is voluntary. He's doing it himself. I mean, there's who's
I'm saying you don't
overseeing
know
this,
whose hair it
Yeah,
is. You don't know
yeah,
if that's his hair. You
yeah.
don't know. And he's trying to say that that Vada, you can't trust Vada. How can we trust who you went to? How do we know you're in cahoots with him? How do
Yeah,
we know this is your hair? Like you
yeah,
can't like you want us to trust your person, but not trust Vada, who's been doing everybody else's. And
crazy,
it's
crazy.
to me is more and more like I'm gonna put out all of the information to muddy the waters
Yeah,
so that certain people who don't really know, like it's almost like him saying, "Oh, well, why didn't they tell me before the fight that I tested positive?" When he knows
yeah,
goddamn well you don't know until every fight I done heard talk says you don't get those results back till like days after because they send it off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
him going out and telling his fans, "Well, why did they still let me fight knowing I tested positive?" He knew
yeah,
what that's why I say it's manipulation. That's what makes me think he did it. Because
yeah.
you know damn well it doesn't come back that fast.
No,
You
I
know these things. You're just trying to manipulate people, and you're trying to reach for everything. Whether it's they're out to get me because I'm exposing the elite, or because I like Trump, or because I'm super popular, or whatever. He's
yeah,
using all this stuff that people use on the internet. And hey, Alex E, I hate to say it to you, but you're gonna get more of this because the internet. You said
yeah,
what happened to boxing? The internet. Same thing
yeah,
that happened to every sport, everything that you got going on now. The internet. Now you
yeah,
got the internet where people can manipulate people on the internet.
yeah,
People do it
man.
all the time. I
So
have
many
to,
dummies. There's so many dummies on here too. You could just create an army of idiots to
yeah.
do your bidding. To do your bidding.
You know how many scams I get daily saying, "Hey, you want to check out this?" It's like,
Oh
no, I don't want to check out your fucking scam. Okay.
God, bro. My God.
Hey,
So Devin Haney responded and he said Ryan and his team knew he would test positive. That's why they did a BS hair test on their own, which who really knows if they did it. And then he said, and then he did this. This one was good. He wrote in a separate, I guess, tweet, Oscar bitch ass ain't answered the phone for weeks. Bitch, I'm calling about my money. Oh my God. But you know what the reason I brought this up And I think Haney has obviously. I'm Team Haney on this 1,000,000%, dude. I mean, I can't deal with the cheating and then the potential cheating and manipulating. Like I can't deal with it, bro. If you look at the comment section though, man, like.
But you know what?
It's
Speaking
just.
of what you were speaking to,
one person wrote, "I'm sick of Devin and his dad crying like babies. Take your L like a man and move on. The whole world seeing you keep your hand down in the whole fight and keep eating left after left." You know what I mean?
well, see, here's the thing: is one thing I'll say is you what you
Don't be like Wilder making pathetic excuses. Why you mad? Like it's all Haney is a clown. Suspend Haney at this point, bro.
Are you on Ryan Garcia's page?
No. This is a
Okay.
random boxing page on Instagram.
Well. Here's what I'm gonna say is, like you spoke to it earlier. One, does race play a part in it? Yeah. If you're Mexican, you're riding with your Mexican fan base. Your Mexican fan base is riding with you. You know what I'm saying? So, like you say, like we say, all combat sports. Let's just keep it a buck. You go to a bar. You go to a bar and you see a fight and you don't know who's fighting. The guy next to you don't know who's fighting. He's going to be like, if he's Mexican, he's going for the Mexican guy. If he's black on this side, he's just going to automatically go for the black guy if he doesn't know. Even Shakur Stevenson said, if I'm watching the fight and it's a black guy and somebody else, and I don't know who either one of them are, I'm going for the black guy. That's a boxer.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of that, but it's not all of that. Also, the other part of it is Devin Haney's father, Bill, can be obnoxious.
Yeah.
He can be obnoxious. He can be very obnoxious.
That's a good point because
it's not even Devin that's really
Devin. Yeah, it's Bill.
That's really talking that much. His father can be obnoxious, and it's all part of promoting. I know what his father's trying to do. His father's trying to promote. So Devin has basically, he's in this thing where he has a lot of enemies now because he has people who are Team Tank who's going to hate on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Team
then you got Team Shakur, they're going to hate on him. You got Garcia, they're going to hate on him. Tio has his little crowd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Lomachenko, they're going to hate on him. And Devin Haney is not an exciting fighter for the most part.
Right.
So his style of fighting, and Mayweather realized this, my style of fighting isn't the most appeasing style of fighting. So I have to use my mouth a little bit more to get people to watch me. Whether they hate me or love me, I have to use my mouth because the casual fan doesn't care about the sweet science. They care about getting in there and hitting. So Devin Haney has a boring style. His dad is obnoxious. You know what I mean? And some people thought he maybe lost against Lomachenko. People like Tank better. So he's in this space where people just, they just go at him.
It's just an annoying space. He's just an annoying, And
I mean, you got to take it with a good with a bad. When your dad is talking, he's creating all this, making you the bad guy, kind of.
Yeah.
You got to know what's coming around the corner when you lose. It's the same thing I see with, and to be honest, when you're a braggadocious person like Tyson Fury, after Tyson Fury, they're like, oh, he's got his ass whooped. I'm like, whoa, that wasn't an ass whooping. That was a good fight. He lost. Yeah. Oh, Tyson Fury, I'm so glad he's clowning around the ring.
Listen, I've had people blowing up the channel today. I had to delete a couple comments that were so obnoxious. All they can say is I told you so. These are people who are like in their mother's basement living to tell somebody I told you that Usyk was going to win. One of them, I swear to God, Gary, wrote us like a 12-paragraph essay. I was like, bro, like it's a 50-50 chance. Either one guy wins or the other
leave
guy.
It. I love it. The reason why I say leave it, you know why I say leave it? Because you always can come back around to these people. I want to be able to, hey, George, I'm petty like this, George. I'm petty. Leave it. I want it because I'm gonna come back. Like if it's a rematch and he wins, I'll come right back underneath that post. I'm gonna like it, and I'm gonna comment underneath it. Where's your paragraph?
I just can't read that much, dude. Like it's not like this this is something like your girlfriend would have written to you in like middle school. Like it was wild. I was just like, dude, I cannot read that.
Hey, listen. Speaking of that, I don't need to go on topic. I have a homegirl, and we were talking about writing letters. I'm like, guys don't read those whole letters you guys write. They like this. And I swear to God, it came up where she found she wrote this whole thing to her guy, and the guy was like, didn't even read it. She found out years later, like he was like, I never read that. I don't even know what that letter says. I'm not reading all that.
If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, join the channel, guys. FightersRep 23 coming on June 1st at Pompano Beach, Florida, and FightersRep 24 June 8th in Los Angeles, California at the beautiful Commerce Casino. Get your tickets, FightersRep.com. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the channel if you want to watch it live from the comfort of YouTube. Alex E says, you imagine grown-ass men like Hagler and Hearns acting like this? These are the trailblazers that paved the way for idiots like a Garcia to tear it down. And then Isaac McGarry says, supposedly his hair sample is clean. Yeah, we just talked about that, Isaac. Yeah, basically, the hair thing, may not be accurate because it takes a while for the stuff to show up in the hair. I think it takes like 5 to 10 days before it'll even show up in the hair. And I just read something from
and that's just about long-term abuse. That's about long-term abuse.
Yeah, it's better at measuring like the past 90 days or something. And yeah, I mean, so 4 tests, 2 for prior to the event, the day of weigh-in, and 2 for the event, A sample and B sample. So that's 4 tests he popped positive for, and I don't think there's just no way around it. And then my understanding is, and this is what I couldn't understand, they're really trying to push the issue, and I saw this with Showbiz, which really confused me, really trying to push the issue of the amount. Oh, it's like a billionth of a gram or something like that. Yeah, but didn't they say it was 60 times?
Yeah, because you're not amount? Well, it's no allowable amount for Ostarine from what I've seen, but they were saying like 0.1 something or something, and his was like 0.6, so it's like something like that. It is a low amount, but you're not supposed to have it in your body, period. Your body doesn't produce that, so you're not supposed to have it, period. And like what's his name, that Victor Conti said you can microdose, and that can make it show low. Or when you start cutting weight, actually some of it actually comes out in your fat sometimes. It's all complicated. Like I said, I don't do steroids, so I don't really know all of this microdosing and what all that is. But I mean, like, it's too much smoke around for me to sit back and say, nah, this, that, or whatever. But he has a chance to prove himself, because if you have all these things that you took, you can submit it. You can submit all these supplements you took, and they can figure out if you got it from a supplement, a tainted supplement batch. They have ways of finding that out. So he has a way to prove.
Again, at the end of the day, I just think it's too convenient, right? That he just happened to be taking a PED in Ostarine that allows you to cut weight and also allows you to, maintain or gain muscle while cutting weight. So it's just, for me, it's just too coincidental, too convenient, and I just don't believe it. And Isaac McCary says it's actually super whack because Ryan put on such a memorable performance, and it's all tainted now. I agree. It was a pretty good performance. And I do think it's tainted now, but I just hope that the general consensus is kind of what we feel, right? That there's some serious, I mean, the tests are positive, there's no way around it. And the A sample and the B sample. So in my opinion, I don't believe this was contamination, but I'll give, obviously I'll wait for him to try to prove otherwise. But I just think the evidence shows it's too convenient. You're taking something, again, to cut weight, something that can give you results immediately, almost in the first week. You're already getting the benefits of Ostarine if you're taking it. And he said in the post fight, I can't make 140 pounds. So that's the mentality of a guy that's trying to cut weight and maintain muscle because it's tough for him.
And the thing is that here's the thing is he also wants to party. I don't think that when he says I can't make this weight, I think that's bullshit. I don't think he wants to make the weight a certain way. He wants to still be able to party and do his thing and
Yeah.
still be able to cut weight. And I agree with I agree with Isaac. I was super pissed that this came out
Yeah.
and that the fight was tainted in that way because it was what you wanted to see. Two of the best go at it and have a memorable fight. Devin was winning at first, then he got caught and it flipped, just kind of like the Tyson Fury thing just happened. And it was an awesome fight. We went home satisfied with an awesome fight to now only come back to say, oh, someone cheated, and we got cheated out of really seeing a fair fight and seeing who really was the best and who really was the best. And that sucks because that's what we want to see. And it's been, and like I told you, I get tired of all the excuses, people saying, well, he did this after every fight. And now you just add it to that. Like, well, we don't really know if Ryan's better than Devin Haney because he was cheating.
Right.
I hate that.
And Isaac's asking, do you still want to see a rematch? And who do you guys have winning if they do? Basically, I would love to see a rematch, but if I'm Team Haney, I don't give this guy a rematch. This guy, in my opinion, right? I think this guy cheated. I think there's too much on the line. Isaac, you're a fighter. You understand. I'm a promoter. Gary, you understand as well. I think there's just too much on the line. You can kill somebody in this sport, and to go in there on any kind of PED, absolutely unacceptable. I wouldn't even give him the opportunity to rematch. I would do my best to make sure the result of the fight gets overturned because I don't believe he deserves that victory. Whether that drug was in him on purpose or by accident, he was enhanced, right? He would be enhanced if that's a positive test. So either way, I don't think it should be considered a win. And especially with the way he's acting, like I just feel like I feel like he's manipulating. I feel like it's insulting our intelligence as fight fans, and I'm just not a fan of it.
George, you're a better man than
one more thing. And I think Haney beats his ass in a rematch because he realizes this pussy doesn't want to fight me without being enhanced. I'm sure that's what Haney thinks. So he's probably going to have a lot less respect for him. And I thought Haney still did a good job in that fight despite getting hurt in the beginning. I think he tightens up his defense and wins that fight.
Yeah. I mean, for me, what I was gonna say is,
I'm better than you. You said I'm a better man.
Yeah, you're better than me because we gotta run it back. We gotta run it back. I want to whoop your ass. I don't care if you was on steroids or not. I don't care nothing about that. You got the best of me. I'm the type of person that you get the best of me. We gotta go again. I don't care if you cheated or nothing. We gotta go. I'm like Cotto. Think about it. Margarito, even fighters, Margarito cheated Cotto. Patted his hands up, beat the shit out of Cotto. Cotto wanted to run that back. Cotto ran that back like, hey, yo, let's run that back right now. And let's run that back without your hands all pasted. But I will be putting certain things in place. Now, for a fact, I'm putting certain things in place. And the weight limit, I'm not fighting unless you meet that weight. There's no more games. Yeah. Everything, because of the last time, everything is going to be a fair fight. And I'm going to come in there and I want to wear your ass out. And I think that Devin was winning the fight most of the fight. Yeah. He got caught. And I think it's kind of similar to Tyson Fury. You get caught. He got caught really bad. And he was in a really bad space. And after that, he couldn't get out of it. But before, if you really look at it, we take out the rounds where he got knocked down, he won every other round that he didn't get knocked down. So if it's a rematch and it's on fair terms and you already, you got a lesson, you learned, I think Devin Haney could come back and beat him. I'm not saying for sure, but I will want that rematch back. That's just me. I got to have it back.
Yeah, well, I would just want to be an asshole and freeze him out, but I'm an asshole. So Alex E says everything Ryan did was premeditated, from not making weight, continually asking Haney to fight him in the middle of the ring because he knew he was stronger and betting on himself. He knew exactly. And Isaac McCary says, yeah, I think Haney should want to run it back. Real fighters would want to prove that Ryan needed those PEDs to beat him. Gary, who do you think would win in a rematch?
Like I just said, I think Haney, if he learned his lesson, if the beating that he took doesn't change him too much, because we all know certain times fighters could take a beating and they can never be the same again.
Yeah.
So if the beating didn't change him and he kind of learns from what kind of went on, I think just naturally he's the better boxer. Ryan has more power naturally, even without PEDs.
Yeah.
Ryan's a little bit bigger. He has more power. I think Ryan has more power, but I think Devin is just a better boxer than Ryan. And so if it's hard to beat a boxer if more than once, because they can adapt, they can see where they messed up, went wrong, and come back in there. Like I said, like Anthony Joshua got beat by Andy Ruiz and he changed up his game plan. Kind of how you said with Tyson Fury. You said you don't think Usyk can change up anymore. Tyson Fury still can. Yeah. And I feel the same way about Devin Haney. He's a boxer. He can figure it out.
Yeah. Well, Knuckleheads, we appreciate you joining us on this impromptu episode of Fighters Rep, just giving our opinion on the Ryan Garcia B sample. Let us know what you think. Do you think he cheated? Do you think he didn't? Do you think it's contamination? Are you that much of a naive goofball that's gullible? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Remember, we do this live, me and Gary, every Monday. So join us on Mondays for the podcast, 9 o'clock.
We're trying to do more.
Yeah. And tomorrow, previewing Fighters Rep 24, I may have Gary on here as well if he's not busy. But previewing Fighters Rep 24 is going to be a fantastic card. Get your tickets, FightersRep.com. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.